On a nondescript street in Thailand, undercover cops have a restaurant under surveillance. An informant has tipped them off that suspected wildlife traffickers are meeting to make a deal. As they go for the exchange, police move in and make the arrest. Bags of rhino horns and ivory tusks are seized, but they're made out of wood. This is a training exercise run by the UN. The role-playing is meant to combat an illicit trade that authorities say is becoming more sophisticated. With organized crime syndicates said to be involved, it often means such things as drugs are also now regularly found during seizures.
With this training course, we manage to let them understand how linked all these things are. They don't happen separately. Very often, brokers involved in wildlife trafficking may be involved in other forms of transnational organized crime.
Recent high-profile busts have uncovered just how lucrative wildlife poaching alone has become. In Southeast Asia, the UN estimates the selling of endangered animals is a $20 billion a year business, and one that is only growing, bringing the world's iconic creatures to near extinction. Wildlife authorities say most of the time this is where the investigation ends, with only the low-level mules or the middlemen being caught because the investigations are simply not deep enough in scope. These exercises are aimed at trying to get police to think about a more thorough investigation. And so, like any other major criminal case, officers are reminded to collect documents, to seize phones, to find any evidence that could lead them to the big players, who, unlike the drug trade, have up until now remained mostly anonymous and at large.
We admit that in the past we didn't give it priority and tended to look more closely at other crimes. But due to foreign pressure, we've since realized the importance of wildlife trafficking. Here in Thailand, income generated from it is second only to narcotics.
For many police forces, the problems have also traditionally been how to tell the difference between animals that are illegal and those that aren't. The UN is helping on that front too, with seminars like these. Talk is also of making international rules simpler. Admitting they are at the moment losing the fight, UN officials say they hope by strengthening law enforcement in countries that have become key transit hubs, that those responsible for trafficking wildlife will no longer be able to operate as freely as they do now. Steve Chow, Al Jazeera, Track Thailand.